3 Bard College students walk into an art gallery and encounter a famous photographer during his art opening. They are taking a class in photography, so they ask him advice about their projects.
Project is a project, but here's the story about photography. You can do your project and you can be really professional or disciplined about it, but you don't want to stop photographing things that just come into your eye that you love or that you're excited by. A project shouldn't be preclusive of experience, huh? Because you're thinking about a project like school and need to establish a criteria of gradation. That's an academic way to look at it. You want to look at it like it was an experience. Life is an experience. It's about hunger. It's about excitement. It's about the senses. Project is about you, man, not about anything else.
That pretty much says it all, but these students were just kids. So I walked up to him, hoping for advice more suitable for an artist closer to his own age.
In the book?
Yeah, it's really wonderful.
Hey, my name is John Thornton. I just think your work is beautiful.
Sorry, this is the guy that makes it's making her so we do like these.
You told me that there's something to cook it,
yeah. So
how come it's so small?
Ha ha, I know what you're thinking, but he was referring to my camcorder, not my, Anyway, the more I studied his work and learned about him, I came to think that there is some real wisdom in this Larry Fink, even if he does refer to me as an
impish looking dude, right?
Yeah. Well, I hope.
Get out of my way.
A number of very good photographers attended Larry's opening. Rob Kreitz told me what kind of camera he thinks Larry uses.
A twin lens reflex shoots at 2.25 by 2.25 negative.
How do you know he uses that?
At least I know he used to use it. I'm not quite sure if that's what he still uses. And there's actually a photograph of him shooting something. You can see him in the mirror.
What qualities do you particularly admire about his work?
I like the intimacy in his photographs, and they're not contrived and spur of the moment. I like that the subjects really don't know that they're being photographed. They're camera absent, so it's as if the photographer is not there. They're not responding directly to him. That's the beauty of them always for me, is that they're very camera absent.
The work in this exhibition is from the years that Vanity Fair Magazine sent him out to Hollywood to cover the after-Oscar parties. I was curious about his relationship to the stars. So for the non-photographer such as myself, these are totally unposed?
Oh, absolutely not posed, yeah.
But they're aware.
By definition of where they are, they're in a party where they're going to be photographed by any number of people in different ways than myself. They're aware of the fact that they are a presence within a place where presence is necessary.
Do they usually like your work?
That all I can say is that we had a show out in California, 2 shows. One at LACMA, which is Los Angeles County Museum, and the other one at a gallery called Fahey Klein, which is a substantial gallery. We didn't sell a picture. There were queries that came to me personally from people who say, God, I should have that picture because it was me, blah, 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 blah. But they didn't go as far as to commit themselves to spend the X dollars to, put it on their wall or in their scrapbook or in their toilet for that matter. So, so I can't say that the City of Illusion looks favorably on my non-illusionary perception of their activities.
My name is Martha Posner, and I'm a sculptor. I'm also married to Larry Fink. We live in a little town called Martins Creek, Pennsylvania, original homestead of a farm from the 1700s, surrounded by 250 acres of forest. We have this great high-low life. So we could be at the Vanity Fair party one night, and then we could be shoveling shit out of the barn the next. He has a lot of fun when he shoots. He is invisible and visible all at the same time. It's really remarkable to watch him shoot. These are all with a real camera, not a digital camera. But it's a big camera. He's got his flash up with his left arm. He's walking up to people, but he's engaging them, and they don't see the camera, they see him. While everybody at the Vanity Fair party certainly knows they're being photographed, heaven forbid they were not photographed, but they're not posing here. So they all know it's there. But he's also been going for so many years, they know him. And they know that he is not the photographer who's coming up to get them all palling around together and posing and making fun or whatever. So one of the things that makes him a great photographer is that he knows art history, he knows painting. Frankly, he knows more about painting than a lot of contemporary artists. A lot of his references about light and flash and composition come from this knowledge as well, and being able to construct in this way.
How do you control the light?
I consult with Caravaggio. Unlike God being over your shoulder, who says, "Larry, point your light that way, the spirit will come from within," Caravaggio says, "Lust after them and light them as if you can enter their bodies and soul."
Is Larry a pretty good husband?
Well, depends on the day. No, he's a great husband.
She has more power within her than anybody I've ever met in my life. And her work is manifest in a physical way so that it somehow or another, creates a magnetism between something that you know nothing of and something that you can see very, very clearly.
Your work is so much about relationships of people, and you so obviously adore your wife. Do you have like an exceptional empathy for people, do you think?
I think that we work on the same spiritual plane, except we work within different vectors.
Larry's really interesting in this empathy issue because when there were more magazines around and he was doing a lot of editorial work, whoever he was photographing, he had deep empathy for. He commits, he submits and he commits, and so he has fantastic empathy.
I heard somewhere that Larry is pretty liberal, politically speaking. I understand you're a famous leftist. Do your politics enter your photography?
I'm not a famous leftist. I'm a leftist. And my sister is a famous leftist. My sister, her name is Elizabeth Fink. Right now, she's the head of the New York Lawyers Guild, and she's organizing all of the legal construction of the people who are being arrested down at Occupy Wall Street. My sister was the prime lawyer for the Attica brothers, the prison revolt of 1973. She worked with that for 28 years without pay. That's a famous leftist.
How do your politics enter your work?
Inadvertently.
When you're photographing very rich people, do you ever have a contempt for them, and does that come out?
Not at all. I have a sympathy or maybe even an empathy for the anxiety they have to live with, being so wealthy, so secluded. Absolute power, we know, creates a condition of absolute paranoia.
Larry's genius for photography is obvious, but he also has a unique gift of language. He tells a story of how the head of Vanity Fair got him monkey suited up for his first Oscar party.
Oh yeah, Graydon Carter, the editor, in chief. I show up with my traditional vest, and he says, "Larry, what are you going to wear tonight?" I said, "This. That's what I want, photography." He says, "Oh, no, you're not." And so they run me downtown to the tuxedo shop, and they get me all fitted up, and stuff like that. And I got to get all tuxed up, and I get my belt on for the flash and whatnot. And I look real good. Graydon says, "You look good cleaned up, Larry." And then go hell hog for the high wire,